Hey, beautiful people. This is Marissa Monique. So, I have to be really honest with you. There's a buzz in the background, and it's my fan. I'm in California. It's so hot. I don't even have pants on right now because pants don't matter. Black lives do, though. Anyway, I was thinking about people throw around buzzwords all the time, and buzzwords that are kind of relevant to me that just kind of came to mind were do the work, do the work. And I've said that to my clients. I have kind of dedicated myself in my whole life, my lifetime, to do this work, to continue to do this work. I've had to do more of that work before. But I was thinking maybe people don't really know, especially singles, what this work is. And so I'd like to talk about what doing the work is today. So, doing the work is referring to the work that you have to do on yourself, with yourself, around yourself to become the best possible you that you can be. A lot of times, our life experiences will expose that there are things that we need to work on. It can be anything. A lot of times it has to do with relationships, not just romantic relationships. It could be your relationships with your siblings, your parents, your work relationships. It could be what you want out of life. You feel like you're kind of stagnant and that you want to move on to something new, something better, something greater, something that you maybe envisioned for your life. Sometimes it has to do with how we're living, that we want better habits, we want better routines, we actually want a routine. And so therein lies the opportunity to do the work. So I think throughout my entire life, because of who my parents are, I've been kind of pushed to do this work. I've always been pushed to set goals, to go after what I want, to not aim too low, to strengthen or tap into my discernment, to understand who God is and what He means to my life and how much control He has in my life and how much control I really don't have, but that I've been given the gift of free will and also the ability to kind of grow my wisdom in Him and in life. And so with those tools, I've been able to get through the challenging spots in my life, but also be grateful for the really, really awesome points in my life. And then to become mature enough to begin to be grateful for the challenging spots as well. So that's been kind of an ongoing thing. I actually can say that I've had a fantastic foundation, but I also know through having friendships, meeting people, having colleagues, and have started to understand that everyone in this regard wasn't as fortunate as I was, but that it allows me to be helpful to them, to be encouraging to them, to really help offer some insight sometimes in how the work can be done in our lives. I also want to mention that a lot of this work, the work that we do as individuals, is centered around our self-worth, our self-esteem, and our confidence. A lot of the decisions that we make, the things that we accept, the boundaries that we put in place for ourselves and for others, lies in the level of self-confidence, self-worth, and self-esteem. And so it behooves us to actually do the self-worth, to keep those levels of self-confidence, self-worth, self-esteem always kind of operating at their optimal, always doing the very best we can so that we don't have any heavy regrets about how we've conducted ourselves, how we've allowed other people to conduct themselves around us in our lives. So the first thing I thought about when doing the work was my heart. And so the first way that I can grow, or that I believe that I can grow into the best me possible, is to address my heart. And so that makes me think of the love chapter in the Bible, 1 Corinthians 13. And just take a gander, read it, see what you think. But there's something that really stands out in verse 4. I'm going to read it for you really quick. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it is not rude, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. And then at the end it says love never fails. And so I believe that in order for us to become the very best versions of ourselves, we need to have that scripture in mind. Literally, if you become the most loving version of yourself, that will cause you to become the most positive version of yourself. And then you will find positive things coming to you, because not only is your mind stayed on positive things, but deep in your heart, it's concentrating on positive things. And so some of the things that scripture points out is that we need to learn not to be rude. We need to learn not to be envious. We need to learn not to be jealous. We need to learn to not be boastful and address any of those things in us that really don't do anything good for us. And sometimes you have to step back and put yourself in someone else's shoes and say, well, if I was a boss, would I appreciate someone who is boastful? Would I appreciate an employee who is boastful? If I was someone's partner, would I appreciate that they are rude, that they are self-seeking, that they are whatever they are? Would I appreciate those things? Sometimes we have to step back, and then we also can take stock of those things by taking a little survey with the people that we know really well. And you can literally ask them, hey, what do I need to work on? Or you can name those things for them and then say, which of these couple of things that I need to work on? Or do I need to work on them all? In your singleness is an awesome time to work on how to become the most loving person, because relationships, marriage relationships, in fact, are very tough. And because a lot of us desire to have better business relationships, marriage relationships, whatever it is, we need to really work on how we can become more loving individuals. Don't forget that nowadays, doing the work can yield amazing results when it comes to choosing a partner to spend the rest of your life with. If you put in the work to yourself, you are going to set certain boundaries and develop certain standards for yourself and for others. And what's going to happen is that through all of this work, you're going to become a more positive and certain person, a confident person, a person that won't just allow anybody into their life. And part of those results are drawing someone that sees that light in you and that wants to participate in your life because you seem to be such a special individual, because you have actually done this work. People want to join their lives with healthy people. The problem right now is that two unhealthy people are joining their lives together, or a healthy person is placing their lives with an unhealthy person, and it's not really yielding the type of results they want. They're not as happy. They're not as joyful. They're not as peaceful. They're not having the life that they thought they would have. I heard someone say that Your relationship will only be as healthy as the least healthiest person that's in the relationship. So you need to be the best person that you can be, so that when you are at your highest and doing your very best and shining your light, then that will attract other people, and they'll see that and they'll want to be part of that, and you'll be able to see them too, because they'll have done the work as well.